Welcome back and thanks for joining us. It's our pleasure to have another absolutely fantastic guest on the show this morning.
That's right. Louie Giglio is here from Atlanta, Georgia, where he lives with his wife, Shelley. He's the founder of Choice Ministries and Passion Conferences. So great to have you here with us today, Louie.
It's glad to finally make it to Australia. I cannot believe it took me a lifetime to get to Sydney.
Has the weather been okay for you?
Yesterday, God opened the skies. It was blue sky and fantastic.
Great.
This is your winter, by the way. I have no pity on you. It's amazing.
Now, we understand that you first started your ministry when you were in university.
Yeah, you know, I went back to grad school after a while at a university in Texas and just saw this huge crossroads of life. And there's 16.5 million college students in America, so it's a big segment of people.
Right.
And it's the place where people make the decisions that mark the rest of their lives. And I saw a lot of Christian kids coming through the door into university, checking their, church background at the door because there's every opportunity imaginable for them there. And a lot of them walking away from what they called church and faith. And I just thought, man, I want to stand at that crossroad with the message of Jesus Christ. Not so much church, so much your parents' faith or what you came from, but the person of Christ and his claims on your life and his vision for your life. And out of that was just birthed a vision to really be in that moment and to pray for, seek, and be a part of a movement that wants to see spiritual awakening come to the campuses of the nation of our country.
Fabulous. The Passion movement is really sweeping the United States of America and I presume the rest of the world as well. And what I find interesting about the conferences is this middle-of-the-road, straight-line message from some of your keynote speakers married together with this cutting-edge, incredible praise and worship. I mean, how do those two things come together and what's the impact of that?
Yeah, well, I think the impact of it ultimately is that people get it. And we're trying to do more than just sing songs and more than just make worship albums. In fact, we didn't even set out to make a worship recording. That was an accidental byproduct of one of our conferences a few years back. And yet we're known around the world as this worship movement, But our heart is a message that says it's not about us. It's all about God. Life is about God. The world is about God. And we are about God. And that strikes a death blow itself, and it realigns us with God's purposes in the world. And so that's the message you're going to hear at Passion. Less of you and more of Christ. Less of your ways and more of his ways. But it's surrounded by this incredible, new emerging songs of faith. And so I don't know anything like it, where you come through the door and you're thinking, oh, we're going to celebrate and worship's going to be great. And then the teaching just absolutely knocks you down.
That's great.
And it's been a great, powerful, and unique combination for us, and it's provided an incredible, we heard about in the conference last night, middle ground. Well, Passion has provided an unstoppable middle ground in America, where everyone seems to merge in the middle of what really, really matters most.
That's fantastic. Now, we know that you're involved with some leading, cutting-edge worship leaders. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how your lives collided and what that has produced.
Yeah, well, a few years back, Passion sort of hit the scene in America, I guess. We had a gathering for prayer and worship, an outdoor gathering where 40,000 college students came.
Incredible.
To spend a day with their faces literally on the ground praying for their generation. And that was a great God moment, but it also elevated guys like Chris Tomlin and Charlie Hall, Matt Redman, and David Crowder Band. These guys, all of a sudden, everyone in America knew who they were. And the labels started kind of circling around, and I thought the last thing we need in our little family is for one label to grab this guy and another label to grab this guy. So we started our own label, Six Steps Records, which comes from the story of David bringing the ark back to Jerusalem. They took 6 steps with this ark, finally on poles, and they put it down in view of God's mercy, and they had a sacrifice of praise to God after 6 steps. So that's our label, bringing the glory of God into the presence of the people of God. And it's been a family, and that's what we are. We're not a business, we're a family, and we love these guys. We're committed to what God's entrusted to them, and we just want to breathe on that to see him do everything he can do in and through them.
Now, they've had incredible success in the Christian world. How have they handled that?
Remarkably well. My wife and I feel like parents. She manages all these guys, so she's their manager. She runs the label. I'm the head of the label. We're friends. I'm the pastor. It's all jumbled together, and it's not supposed to work.
It's messily clean.
But it's working good, and as parents, we're so proud of them. Tomlin won the most Dove Awards of any other person in Christian music in America a few months ago in Nashville. And here's our thing. It's like, okay, shine a light on us. That's fine. Put these guys on a stage. That's fine. Put a bright light on them and say, look at what they've done, that's fine. As long as our hearts is when that light hits us, we want to be moons who reflect that light back to him. And so they've done well at it because they know that it started with him it's all about him. These songs are from him. They're his songs and not theirs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you have a voice as an influential leader. We've got about 15 seconds. What voices have influenced your own life?
You know, on a human level, a guy most people in Australia would never know named Dan DeHaan, but he's got a book called The God You Can Know. You can still find it. Piper's been a huge voice for me in the latter 10 years of my life, just helping me refine the message that it's really all about God and His glory, and my life matters most when I make much of God.
That's great. Thank you, Louie, for being here. God bless you. We're looking forward to hearing from you at the conference.
Thank you guys so
Thanks
much.
so much,
Happy to be
Louie.
here.
Great
Thanks.
to meet you.
Fantastic.